Hi, it's Kirby Summers. Today is February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Please take a moment to like the video. Take a moment to subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to be sharing a preview of what I've been working on, along with some information on an unknown Epstein associate connected with the woman Nadia, whose last name I'm not going to basically even say out loud, but you know what her last name is. And a private island, yes, another private island with a connection to Stonehenge. And for those of you who don't know what Stonehenge is, it's a prehistoric site. It's considered a burial ground. Um, Very ancient bones have been found on Stonehenge. That's what archaeologists have basically written about for many decades. It has been the subject of a lot of interest. Um, on this island that I share information on, the owner, who is connected to the person I speak about the most, whose name starts with an E, has an island. And he had a sort of like a replica of Stonehenge built on this island, and I'm not going to name the island. I've basically uploaded that information to my Patreon. So if you are a member of my Patreon, go take a listen. I've put their information on this associate whose name has rarely, if ever, been mentioned, um, how he helped Nadia. Nadia's connection to another one of his associates, and just some stuff that also, interestingly enough, connects in a sort of a geographical manner to Ghislaine Maxwell, and how it connects to the leaders of our government in the United States, like Bill Clinton and George W. Bush and things like that. So it's an interesting podcast. It's not very long. It's less than 20 minutes long. I try to condense as much information as possible into that. And again, that's on my Patreon. And the question basically becomes, what is this person doing with this private island and this replica of Stonehenge, and what's going on? And then what's happening on my Substack is I am working on part 4. It'll drop sort of any moment now. Deconstructing Wexner. I'm on part 4. And part 4, basically, I did send a preview to those of you who have subscribed. Even if you're a free member, you would have gotten it. It basically begins with, what does the largest secret society in the world, the Freemasons, the Independent Order of the Odd Fellows, the Knights of Pythias, the Protective Order of the Elks, the Finders Cult, and the McMartin preschool case have in common? And then I answer that with, they all share a connection with a certain person who we know financed the E person, who, whose properties were sort of transferred over to the E person, and who I'm, writing in a complete before his birth, deep dive on, the deepest dive on this man and his connections to date. I also share information on anagrams used in Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut, which connect to someone in Buckingham Palace, and also Ira Levin's 1997 book, Son of Rosemary, and the anagram. And I give the meaning of that even in my preview of what the anagram used there. And they're all connected to sort of a world that we have been basically understanding, and I'm not going to mention that right now, but it's sort of like an underworld that we're studying with connection to mythology and mysticism and things that date back to the ancient times and how they're connected to the people that we have been studying. And so with no further ado, I'll say that's on my Substack. If you haven't become a member, consider doing so. I've got tons of articles. That's where I do my primary um, drops of my research, my newest research, which is not in any of my books necessarily, because I'm always researching and I'm always following um, other rabbit holes that take me somewhere else, which, it can't really be found necessarily in my earlier works, because my earlier works included information that I found up until the date of publication. And so there's additional info again on my Patreon, on my Substack. You know, I'll be recording full episodes here. It's just that I have to be selective about what I upload on this platform, which is why I have these other platforms. I want to thank those of you who take the time to leave a comment. I want to thank those of you who take the time to like the podcast because it does help with the algorithm. I mean, I've got tons of free podcasts here for you to listen to. Oh, another podcast is going to drop today. I did an interview with a person who basically covers Meghan and Prince Harry. And I dropped a lot of information on Meghan Markle, and I will be leaving a link to that later on Twitter. And that has it's free. You can go listen to it, as well as all of my previous podcasts here. And I also include a lot of free articles on my Substack. Okay, guys, thanks for everything. Talk soon. Bye.